start speaking about the eye being the lamp of the body, and it's rich metaphor. He says there, if therefore your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. And then there is a great warning. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? What is the Lord saying here? I think the point is quite simple. When you've got good eyesight, you appreciate beauty. You do. You can see the beauty of a garden, the beauty of flowers, the beautiful birds that are coming to settle on those flowers, the beautiful butterflies that are settled on those flowers, and perhaps the owner of that garden has added fountains, ornaments, and so on to the whole place. I mean, it's beautiful. A person who is short-sighted and forgot his glasses at home, all right, you got the point, will just walk past all that because he is unable to truly see what is there before him. The beauty, the loveliness, the splendor, the magnificence. In other words, bad eyes rob you of the wow factor. And you know, the wow factor makes up quite a bit of our lives. It's what made a number of us marry the ladies we've married. Okay, we sort of went, wow, where has she come from? Who is she? And we started digging up all kinds of information around her, and we were glad to hear that there was no guy who was already in her life. I'm going to pray with one eye open. You know, Lord, I pray that she's the one you have for me. Life is like that. We live after something because of the wow factor it brings into our lives. You go into a shop and you have to buy some clothing. You don't just close your eyes and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then when you open at 10, you pick what is there. No, you examine, you imagine, and finally you think, yeah, this is it. And that's what determines what you pay money for. The wow factor. Well, the Lord Jesus Christ here is telling us that materialism removes that wow factor from spiritual things in your life. It clusters and blurs your vision so that you are blinded to spiritual profundities and immensities. You no longer sense the awesomeness of the world to come. You are too carried away chasing mice, so to speak, in the field for you to see the wonderful garden that is there before you. Or to change the picture a little bit, it's like a child who eats sweets before a main meal. Now, any parent would tell you that even if the child kicks and screams, say sorry until you've eaten the real food you won't have sweets. The reason is simple. Sweets remove the edge from appetite. And so children will just nibble away at the real food which they need and say, I'm satisfied, and consequently end up being malnourished. That's what materialism does. It dulls your spiritual senses. It robs you of the edge on your spiritual appetite. And therefore, you go through life missing this glorious reality of the spiritual life. If your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. If your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. You can have Christians in the same church, saved on the same day, being taught the same truths. Some seem to simply relate to spiritual things extremely lightly. They don't see it as something worth living for, something worth dying for. No. It's there, yes. But just don't make a big issue of it. While for others, to borrow a phrase someone used and died soon after that, this is it. Throw themselves completely into it, and they think this is the greatest thing that has ever happened. It's worth living for, it's worth dying for. And often the difference lies in spiritual eyes. Perception. For some, spiritual things are simply about missing out on hell and going to heaven. Why make a big deal of it? For others, as we shall be seeing in a few moments, they are overwhelmed by the love of God for them. The staggering promises of God to creatures of dust. And they just can't respond enough. They just can't. The problem with materialism is that it makes you trust in money rather than trust in God. Somehow you think your security for the future is dependent on the world's goods. Now, if someone challenges you, you like to say, no, I trust in God. But the reality is that that's where your faith lies. And it's sad that a human being should trust in a piece of metal, gold, instead of the eternal one, God. We often laugh, don't we, when we see people who are carried away in rank idolatry. Here is a human being with gray matter tucked between his ears, and is bowing down to something that someone else made. It doesn't speak, it doesn't hear, it has absolutely no life in it. and he's going like this. And we say, but can't that guy think? And then from there, we ourselves bow to a piece of silver or gold. In fact, in our own day, it's a piece of paper. The dollar. That's what we're doing. We are trusting in it. We're doing exactly the same thing. Let me go further. The problem with materialism, still on this aspect of perception, is that it makes you value people based on their bank account, rather than on the fact that they are made in the image of God. So you want your friends to be the guys with the money. Those are the people you want to have around you, to be associated with. You want, or putting it another way, individuals who are weak and sick and impoverished and so on, you don't want to spend time with. You can't be bothered, man. And you fall into the exact trap that Jesus warned about when he said, I was hungry and you gave me nothing to eat. I was thirsty, you gave me nothing to drink. I was in prison, you did not visit me. I was naked, you did not clothe me. And you say, now, Jesus, hang on. When did I see you in that state? I mean, if I saw you in that state, I definitely would have done something about it. And Jesus says, yeah, you did see me in that state. You just didn't see me. That's one effect of materialism. You stop judging individuals by the fact that they are made in God's image or that they are God's children. And you can see it even in the context of the church. You find some individuals will not associate with those who are poorer in the church. They won't. They always want to associate with the people with money, because they also have the money. And yet the Bible is very clear in Romans 12. It speaks about, rather 13, about associating with those who are of a lower social status in our circles. So, if while you are in that state, you still think that you are well, which is what Jesus really means when he says, if therefore the light in you is darkness, you will only be rudely awakened in the end when it is too late. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that difference? Let me